So I want to talk about marketing that actually works for coaches, guides, educators, mentors, consultants, experts, anyone who would consider what they do as transformational. And let's define what that means. It means going from one state to a brand new state. So caterpillar to butterfly, not caterpillar to a little bit better at being a caterpillar. It's a form change, which can feel like you're selling magic. And not everybody believes in magic. So your marketing and sales needs to help people believe, which I think is harder than ever right now. I think during COVID, there was such a boom in course creation and coaching, and everyone was like selling courses on how to create courses, which I believe created a lot of junk. Like there wasn't the expectation there really, because they were trying to get people into their course that teaches you how to make courses, and they just want volume to come in, and so they don't really mind if you're not actually an expert. So yeah, that created a lot of junk, and then there's a lot of noise online, and then you kind of feel like you're just in this giant Instagram feels like this giant skip that you're like, somebody, let me tell you something, and you're like wiping a banana peel off your face, but everybody's walking past the smelly skip. Sorry. But you know what I mean? So, how do we get heard? That's what I want to talk about today. Okay, so the next piece is belief. People are walking past they're scrolling past your video. They're not listening because they don't believe you, or they've heard it all before and it's just washing over them. It's just another coach selling her thing. So we need to help them believe in magic. And the second thing is they don't believe it could work for them. So they might believe you. They might think, oh yeah, you know what, that sounds really compelling. And look, these are the people that she's worked with. And that sounds like a really genuine framework. And wow, look at all of her experience, and her expertise is legitimate, right? So maybe they buy in and they believe that far, but wouldn't work for me. I can't see that. I can't see that happening for me. So our job in our marketing is to help them believe. And I think the best way you can help them believe, believing is experiencing. And you have to help them, you have to create an opportunity for them to experience the transformational element of your work. When I was teaching singing, and you'd help somebody with what they were singing, like a high note that they wanted to be powerful, but it would always feel really tight. And then we would get them to hit it in this way that felt free and felt so powerful and strong. And I can see the fireworks go off in their eyes, like the dopamine is being released. And they're like, oh my God, if I can do that, what else can I do? And this is part of the psychology I would suggest around how you market. How can you create that experience for people in your marketing? And so if you are a transformational coach, you take somebody on a process. You're taking somebody from caterpillar to butterfly, point A to point B, and they go on a journey. And there's chapter 1 of that journey. I want you to break out chapter 1 of your actual work that you do with a client and give it away for free in marketing or at a very low cost. And I want to share with you different examples of how you can do this. First of all, you can do this in content. So my best performing content when I was a vocal coach were these sketches I would do. So I would play the part of the vocal coach and the student. And at the beginning, I would get the student to sing the line badly, so that whoever's watching can identify or relate and go, yeah, that's how I feel like I sound when I sing that. And then the vocal coach will give a set of instructions that the student will follow along during this 90-second video. And then at the end, they have a breakthrough, and then they can sing the note really powerfully and free. Yay, hooray at the end. So they go through a transformational process. And the person watching the video actually follows along the steps. And not everybody, but many people would experience that transformation in their own voice as they're watching it. Because I would see it in the comments like, oh my God, that worked. Oh my God, it's like magic. Oh my God, this is witchcraft. And so then they're like, if that is true, what else is true? What else can I do? What's next? I need more. And it generated a lot of interest for me in my vocal coaching courses and the work that I was doing. So now when I'm thinking about how I'm doing my YouTube videos, like I don't know if there'll ever be a lot of views on these videos, and that's fine. They're purely here again to give somebody who's moving towards me, who's curious about the work, but is like, oh, it sounds interesting, and I see you got this person results and that person results, but oh, would it work for me? And before they commit to working with me, they can actually watch the videos that I have here on YouTube. They can come into my free school group, and I'll give them everything they need to know in terms of signing their first client, their first high ticket client. And then after that, if that works for them and they've proved the concept, then it may feel natural to want to go deeper with me. So again, I'm kind of like in my marketing, treating everyone like my highest paying client. So that's content. Something else that works wonderfully is run some ads to an event. So have an online event or an in-person event. I used to run online boot camps where I would take somebody through a process. Now that process is again just chapter 1, and they would work with me. They'd do a workshop every evening, Monday to Thursday, and then we'd have a little party on Friday, and they would achieve something that was manageable, that was a small win within that week, that proved to them that they could do it and that this works. And then at the end of the week, it was natural for some on the bootcamp to say, well, what's next? I want to go deeper. I want to do more. What's the next chapter? If you can run an in-person event, better again. Get them to meet you and meet your energy and be in the room with you. I had a client run a songwriting workshop a few weeks ago, and she just got people to come to that through running an ad on Instagram, and then got all these lovely songwriters in the room and helped them realize their song, their music with a piano player and with her coaching as a songwriting coach. And, you know, many of them didn't know what it could be until they got into that moment with her and the piano player. And once they could see what the song's potential was when it was workshopped in that way, it was like, oh my God, I have a whole album I could be doing this with. So it's amazing because you're proving the concept, but you're also proving that this is for them, and you're giving them that actual experience of change, of that shift. I actually didn't do any content marketing for Artistry First, and how I got my first clients was just through outreach and offering free business strategy calls. And I think that that's another wonderful way, again, to just like, where can I provide the most amount of value? How can I show them that this work works and that it will work for you? Showing up in the DMs with an offering of a business strategy call. Now, it's not, lots of people are going to ignore it. But I think it's a little bit harder for other kinds of coaching offers. So my suggestion to a client last week was to actually package the one-on-one, the free one-on-one offering like you would a workshop. You know, like give it something specific so that they know what they're opting into. Because otherwise, with direct, I think anytime you're doing direct outreach, it needs to be direct. I've experienced people showing up in my DMs. They're like, hey, what are you working on at the moment? And I'm like, why do you ask? Oh, just checking in, seeing what's up. And I'm like, no. Be direct. Like, tell me why you're here in my inbox right now, so that I can make an informed decision on whether I want to continue to engage. I don't want to be hoodwinked down a path. So I think your next step is to have a look at like, what actually is my chapter 1 of my process? What is the first thing somebody needs to understand, or what's the first thing that needs to change or to happen, or what do they need to learn at the very beginning to continue on the journey towards transformation with me? So figure that out first. And then what are lovely ways, formats, outlets for me to give people an experience of that change happening to them? If it's at all interesting to you, I have a call. It's just a free call I run on my school group most Thursdays the coaches that are there now, like teachers, coaches, are mainly creative arts based, but I'm open to other disciplines, and it's a lovely chat. It's a lovely hang. Lots of them have made connection and friends, and we discuss all kinds of things, and it's a great source of inspiration for me to make these videos too. But anyway, so you're welcome there if you'd like to be part of that. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.